Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at GameFromScratch, and I'm going to start off with a very controversial statement. The Epic Game Store sucks. Okay, actually, I think the vast majority of you people actually agree with me on this. Specifically, this part of it sucks. What you're looking at right now, this is the Epic Game Launcher. And even if you don't buy things on the Epic Game Store, if you use Unreal Engine right here, you have to use this. And it is slow. It's also cumbersome. It's a little gross. Even all of Fab is now integrated into the Epic Games Launcher. And of course, so is the store. And there you see, loading it up. That is awful, appalling experience. And a lot of people don't like the Epic Game Store as a direct result of having to interact with it using the launcher. And I am definitely one of those people. The launcher is one of the worst pieces of software installed on my computer without hyperbole. So we've got some good news today. By the way, you should be using the launcher just like you should be using Fab. Every 2 weeks, Fab gives away a number of game development assets. Well, the same deal is true on the Epic Game Store. They have constant giveaways of games here as well. So you should just at least be hoarding these. If you ever intend to use them later on, it's a bunch of free games. But the reason why we're talking about today is recently two things happened. First off, Epic Games did the state of the Epic Games Store, and we found out, how well things are selling, etc. on there. And the Epic Games Store is also vitally important. First off, giving Steam a pure monopoly is not a good thing. Second, the Epic Games Store has a incredible set of incentives for game developers to use it. We'll get to that in a little bit. But first, we got a bit of an admission from Epic Games. So you know how I said it sucked? Well, so did their VP. So we've got a number of details here, but let's talk first about Steve Allison here, who is Epic Games Store Vice President and General Manager. He says, we have a lot of things we need to fix. We have needed to fix them for years. We have really been focused on developer tooling and all the things we do there. But last year, we finally started to point more of our resources towards the player experience stuff, all the things that our players have needed, wanted, and all the critics rightfully take us to task on. We got a lot of good stuff out the door last year, and this year is going to probably be the best year for that stuff on the big rocks. The big rocks are, the launcher sucks. Let's call it what it is. It's really slow. Hey, I agree fully. The Epic Games Launcher is a travesty. It is a terrible piece of software, and I'm glad to hear an executive vice president who happens to be in charge of it saying the same thing. It makes calls to our back-end services to refresh every time you click around, and depending on your connection, you will have to wait a couple of seconds. By the way, I'm on a fiber connection, so on your end, it might be even worse. You'll have to wait a couple of seconds, and that just doesn't feel good, especially when people are comparing and contrasting and dual using one that doesn't do that, also known as Steam. Work on the architecture started in November 2025, he says, and is making great progress. We're basically pulling the guts out, putting new guts in. The speed improvements should appear for players around May or June, and according to their official press release this summer. It should start to feel good, be faster, and people will be like, holy bleep, it really doesn't suck so much. And that's a win for us. It's nice to see executives be so forthright and blunt with their statements. There's no dodging that, what they had here now sucks. And they're going to try and improve on it. So a number of details there. Then they talk about other aspects of the Epic Games Store that are lacking. We have no social framework in the store like other stores, even console platforms, which have the ability to communicate with your friends. We just kind of stripped that out during COVID and never brought it back. As a result, Epic is planning to bring community spaces to the Epic Games Store, adding avatars, player profiles, private messages to cross-platform text chat, and adding voice chat and game-independent parties from Q2 this year. A cross-platform library will come in autumn, along with the new library management functionality, region-specific storefronts, and a launch of the store on iOS in Japan in March and Brazil in June. So some definite improvements there. Another thing they think will be popular right here, it should go down especially well amongst internet users of a specific age, missing the bygone era of static, non-instant message type communications, a kind of forum type experience. Yes, they're going to bring forums back. That's nice. I think, even though I have a Discord server, which by the way you should join, links down below, it's not the be-all, end-all of communications, and forums are great, especially for creating a database of knowledge, which is the kind of things that all games should have. So then you got hints and tips and stuff, and they last the test of time. So, prevailing question at this point, what's taken the company by no means short on resources so long to actually do this stuff? His answer was, two-sided marketplace and super complicated and hard at first as the store's sheer number of users on launch approached 30 million users in the first 14 months. Meant primarily focusing on the developer side. We've got to get developers in the door. They are not going to deal with a back end where we have to do everything manually with them. We really focused on that because free games was so powerful at the beginning, an incentive to get players to match the developers. By the way, that's what I talked about earlier on. Get your free games, just hoard them like you do with fab assets. Store itself, Allison is keen to mention during our conversation, was ultimately launched as the tip of the spear for getting developers as much higher revenue share of 88 to 12% compared to Steam's 30%. So you basically are making a whole lot more money of your sales on Epic Game Store than you do on Steam. And since it isn't that we ignored it, but we had to get out to the super manual onboarding of important titles. We had to build the tools for self-publishing, and that took us like almost 3 years. It was a major focus of our engineering. By the way, another thing that people kind of forget is early day Steam kind of sucked too. It was one of a kind, so it didn't really have competitors at the time, but these things do in fact take time to evolve for sure. And then on top of that, the majority of our engineering time focused the capability on player-facing features that we have now have to get to. Criticism is fair, he continues, citing a particular blunt subreddit called that. There are people that feel that way, and we respect that, but we know the players are going to be happy when those features show up, and we just got to knock them out. So I hope like 2 years from now, we're not really having this conversation anymore. The multi-platform stuff is cool. Social stuff maybe is better than anything anyone's doing. Goal within that period is Epic is no longer in a deficiency compared to expected features. We're going to attack all the big buckets of things that are fair criticisms, and we have work to do. We just have to do the work. So that's actually pretty nice. They've straight out acknowledged the aspects of the Epic Game Store that suck, specifically the launcher, which, yes, it sucks. And it looks like we should actually start seeing improvements pretty quickly, which is nice to see. By the way, they also dropped this, which was like a kind of the year-end review. They did one of these for Fab earlier on. This is the Epic Game Store and how things work, what the big titles that sold there were. We're just going to do the top level stuff here. So you can see here kind of the revenue, what kind of if you're a game developer and you publish on there, what kind of market you're looking at. 317 million plus PC users. You can see the size of the growth across that time, or in some cases shrinking, which is interesting that they actually acknowledged certain areas like that. But I think the most important thing here is this. First off, you'll notice here Fortnite has actually fallen in gameplay hours, but third-party games have gone up. On the same level, here's what they make off of Epic sold games, so they're up by 6% to 1.16 billion. But here's the key one for game developers that publish on the Epic Game Stores. They split a pie of $400 million, which compared to Steam is peanuts, but compared to last year, that is an improvement of 57%. So it is becoming more of a legit store. Then again, we got the free game offers. There have been 100 games offered. You can see so far 662 million games have been redeemed, and there is the average value at full MSRP for those redeemed games. And then some more, there are the top titles. Fortnite, obviously. Withering Wave. Actually, I've not heard of a lot of these. By the way, this would contribute to the Fortnite. The Rocket League is also Epic Games. So all of the Epic Games go together to make this number over here, by the way. So something to be aware of. But you get an idea. These are the major success stories on the platform, and it kind of gives you an idea. But the key numbers to take away is $400 million in potential revenue for third parties on the platform. And again, that's an improvement of 57%, which is a sizable amount. And as I mentioned earlier on, one of the big things about the Epic Game Store is it is such a good deal for developers. For one, it's not exclusive. So you can publish your game on Epic Game Store as well as on Steam. They do incentivize early publishing to it. There are certain options there. But look at this one. You keep 100% of the revenue on your first $1 million in revenue. So if your game doesn't make any money, it doesn't cost you anything. You also don't have Steam's $100 fee, I don't believe, to get up on there as well. So that is pretty awesome. You only make money, you only get charged anything if your game makes over $1 million. And then the other thing you'll need, and that's per year, by the way. And the other thing you'll notice here is they still have that 88-12 revenue share, where the default one from Steam is 70-30. Now, do keep in mind, like a big company like Activision or whatever, they're not paying that 70-30 split. But if you're a smaller developer, yeah, you're paying 30% of all earnings before taxes and everything else to Steam. And that is sometimes one of the biggest actual costs of doing business here. So this 12% is a huge boom. They also launched web shops. You can host your own, by the way. You can also use external stores. Again, that revenue share right there as well. So there are a lot of incentives to launch also on the Epic Game Store, especially for developers. They have really focused heavily in this area. By the way, same deal. They did a review of Fab. I covered this in a previous video, but you can see how Fab has gone. Fab is kind of in a similar place. Fab launched, it was missing so many features. It is so much worse than what the Unreal Marketplace was before it, including Sketchfab, etc. It's getting there. So over the last year, they've also had a number of improvements there as well. They actually break them down at the bottom here, like what they added across the course of the year. So search and filter improvements, wish listing, forum threads, changelogs and FAQs, individual sales, MetaHuman compatible content. Fab is now again in the launcher here, for better or worse, which again, hopefully stops being so damn clunky soon. And they also added text reviews back in. So there was a lot of improvements to Fab as well. And it looks like finally the launcher and the Epic Game Store are going to get the same treatment. And hopefully, maybe in 2027, we won't say that the Epic Game Store sucks anymore. So let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.